Steelers country! Let's ride, baby! Justin Fields is a Pittsburgh Steeler. And in an offseason where we were told for weeks, that it was going to be Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph as the quarterbacks of this team, instead we get Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. I mean, unbelievable move by Omar Khan, the con artist here, nailing Justin Fields for a conditional 6th-round pick that could turn into a 4th-round pick if Justin Fields plays a certain amount of snaps in 2024. I mean, this is mind-bogglingly good of a trade for the Pittsburgh Steelers and Omar Khan. You're trading a conditional 6th-round pick for somebody that was a former 1st-round pick in the NFL draft. Somebody Mike Tomlin loves the skill set of. Somebody that, if called upon, could make the Steelers offense probably the most dynamic rushing offense in the National Football League. Now, I don't think Justin Fields, this move is to make him the starter even long term. I think that the Steelers do believe that Justin Fields is their, or not Justin Fields, Russell Wilson is their guy for the next 4 to 5, maybe even 6, 7 years, all right? So they do think Russell Wilson is their guy. They expect to extend him after this 1-year contract. And I do think that Russell Wilson is who the Pittsburgh Steelers are planning to go with as their QB1 for the foreseeable future. However, for this price, a conditional 6th-round pick, you're getting a guy that is an elite plan B. If Russell Wilson ends up stinking it up next year, and I don't think he will, by the way. I think he's going to play really, really good football. But if he doesn't, Justin Fields with his skill set, his rushing ability, this is somebody that has rushed for over 1,000 yards in a season as a quarterback. Okay, so this is somebody that could absolutely light it up. And, you know, it's also somebody where if Russell Wilson ends up getting hurt, okay, like say it's like the New York Jets situation where Aaron Rodgers got hurt in the first drive of the season. Let's say that happens with the Pittsburgh Steelers with Russell Wilson. The season's not lost, all right? There's still hope. There's still optimism. There's still juice here with Justin Fields as the quarterback. And I think that this is an excellent move by the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, Omar Khan, Mike Tomlin said that they were sick and tired of losing in the first round of the playoffs, that they were done with the mediocrity of this franchise, and they freaking meant what they freaking said, all right? And they went out and made these 2 moves. And, you know, all offseason, we were talking about one or the other, Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. How about both? How about Justin Fields and Russell Wilson? I absolutely love it, man. I'm giving this an A grade. Let me know down there in the comments section what you guys think. 84% of you guys agree with me with an A grade. Absolutely unbelievable. All right, so Big Fields is here. He says A+. Arthur Hedeker is here with an A+. Kurgan Cold is here. What's up, Kurgan? He gives it an A. Timothy gives it an A. We've got Ronan with an A+, Mario with an A, Joshua with an A, David with an A, Alex Manderful is here with an A+, Controller, the Spartan is giving it an A+, Anthony Fuller is here, King Yinzer gives it an A+, everybody loves the Justin Fields trade in Steelers Nation, baby. I am so excited to break it down with you guys. We just put out my instant reaction video, by the way. So if you want to check that out, it's on the channel. I break down what this means for Fields, what this means for Russ, what this means for the future of this team, and I give my take on the compensation, which is, I think, unbelievable what Justin Fields was able to do. And I actually had producer Jack Lauderay say hi to the folks here, by the way. Come on screen here for a little bit. We don't have a terrible towel for you today, but I got mine. Here we go, Steelers. There we go. There we go, baby. I absolutely love it. Producer Coop is busy today. This is like the worst possible time for him for this news to break, but Jack Ladere, the tank, is here to fill in. Everybody say what's up to Jack Ladere. What's up, my friend? Are you doing all right?
I'm doing good. Kind of a bombshell trade to happen on the Saturday before St. Patrick's Day, but we're here and we're moving.
We're here, we're moving on a Saturday after a grueling week of free agency coverage for us here at Chat Sports. I was enjoying my day off. I was on my couch. I was enjoying my day off, Jack, and then all of a sudden, boom! Justin Fields to the Steelers, and you know what, guys? I don't even care that I have to work today because I'm having a good time. I'm not going to lie. All right, this is unbelievable. All right, somebody is saying Jack Squared. You know what's up, Andy Koski. Jack Squared right here. Jack times Jack. Gotta frickin' love it. All right, let's get into these super chats here. They're starting to roll in. Here's a $6 super chat from Kurgan Cold. This is actually one of our Black Diamonds. We don't have the Black Diamond stuff put into the computer right now, so please excuse us not using the Black Diamond stickers today if you're a Black Diamond. But Kurgan Cold, one of the Steelers Talk legends with a $6 super chat. Appreciate you, Kurgan. Then we got Mikey Fig here, $2 super chat. Says, con artist back at it again. QB secured. Backup QB secured to be exact, all right? Because that's the thing that I want people to realize when it comes to Justin Fields in this move, is that he is the backup quarterback here at the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I don't think that the leash with Russell Wilson is particularly going to be all that short, and I do think that Russell Wilson is the long-term option here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Adam Schefter says Steelers QB, Russell Wilson. What happened to Micah? What happened to him? Oh, okay. Russell Wilson will start in Pittsburgh, and Justin Fields will back him up. A team source told ESPN's Brooke Pryor. And this is really the case, guys, okay? Because Russell Wilson was brought in for a reason. If you would have looked at Mike Tomlin's face during his press conference in Pittsburgh the other day, that's somebody that's like, yeah, that's my QB right there. But we also know that Mike Tomlin loves Justin Fields as well. So I think that they view Justin Fields as a good plan B. They view him as a high-end backup. They view him as somebody where if Russell Wilson stinks or ends up getting injured, the season is not completely lost. Okay, but Russell Wilson's going to get every single opportunity to prove that he is the long-term answer here in Pittsburgh. And when I talk about long-term, right, I'm talking about the next 5 to up to 7 years, okay? Because Russell is somebody that's coming in here. He wants to win 2 more championships. And I believe that he can still play at a certain level where he is absolutely a Super Bowl caliber quarterback for the next 5 years here in Pittsburgh. He takes care of his body better than anyone. He had a better passer rating than Patrick Mahomes just last year. Okay, so I think Russell Wilson's going to play great. I love Justin Fields, though, as a backup option, and we'll see if he can return as the backup for multiple years behind Russell Wilson, because you got to remember, the Steelers are probably not going to be picking up that 5th-year option for Justin, so he's only going to be a 1-year rental here. So he'll be a free agent in 2025, and if Russell Wilson plays well, I do expect Russell to be the starter in 2025, not Justin Fields. All right, so if you're getting excited about Justin Fields being the future starter of the Pittsburgh Steelers, it absolutely could happen if Russ gets hurt or if he gets replaced at some point this season, but I'd say it's far more likely that Russell Wilson ends up being the starter in 2025, 2 seasons from now, than Justin Fields, and then Fields is going to be the backup here for at least 2024. This one's coming in from Andrew Longoria. Bang! Let's go, Andrew! Everybody spam Andrew in the chat. Let's go. Andrew. Everybody that spams Andrew is getting a shout out here. Come on. We got Isaac Film Flam. We've got Tyler. We got Obi-Wan Kenobi, George Pickensburg. We've got Kurgan Cold, Gary Yates, Colton, Mr. Deadhead, David Bowers. Oh my goodness, a $100 super chat from Andrew Longoria. Gold Club member here says, if Russell Wilson balls out this season, And with Fields as the backup, do the Steelers have the most dangerous quarterback duo in the league? Well, here's the thing, man. It's because you don't play two quarterbacks, producer Jack. You only play one. So it's like, I think I'll say this. Justin Fields is one of the best backup quarterbacks in the National Football League, all right? He's way better than Jameis Winston, who the Cleveland Browns picked up, all right? We all know that. But, man, absolutely, Andrew. I think that Justin Fields is dangerous as a rusher. I think that as a backup option, he is elite. And I'm excited to see what's going to be coming here with Justin Fields, because if Russ gets hurt or something like that, I still feel good about him coming in.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily phrase it in the way of you have the most dangerous QB duo in the league, but you have the most dangerous QB room in the league.
Yeah, absolutely, because, and
that's probably how I would phrase it, is you have the most dangerous QB room in the league.
And also, for the tush pushes and stuff, having a big, strong quarterback like Justin Fields to come in on those 4th and 1 situations and then at the goal line, and then also in the red zone, you could have a package for Justin Fields. He's that level of athletic. So, this only opens up the possibilities for OC Arthur Smith this year, and it only increases the chances of the Steelers winning a Super Bowl this year, because if Russell Wilson gets hurt, the season isn't completely lost. All right, so I love this move, man. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button right now. We got over 1,400 people watching around the world right now. Let's get it going. The Super Chats are flowing in, so let's get to those right now, Mr. Producer Jack. Then we got $20 Super Chat from KJ Live Life. Black Diamond right here, and he says, I'm back. $20 Super Chat. Welcome back, KJ Live Life. Good to see your face in the building. $20 Super Chat from Christopher. Wait. I'm getting word in my ear from Mr. Producer Jack. This one's coming in from Darkest Light. Bang! Everybody spam Darkest Light in the chat. We got Sam Bouchard. We've got King Xavier Sendo Shorts. We got Broccoli. We got Nicholas. We got Blissy. We got Jacob. We've got Frankie. We got James. Let's go, people. Darkest Light with a $100 Super Chat. And he says, here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Thank you so much, Darkest Light. You are a real one. Woo! Now let's get to the rest of the Super Chats, because I'm tired. $5 Super Chat from Ricky Campbell. Says, Omar the con man strikes again, and he's not done yet. One more thing. Cleveland sucks. Absolutely, Ricky Campbell. Could not agree more with you. They just signed Devin Bush this week. Oh, my goodness, man. I cannot wait for Jalen Warren to juke Devin Bush out of his cleats next year. Twice a year. Can't wait for it, man. It's going to be awesome. $2 Super Chat from my man Austin Tardif here. Says, Omar Khan, the Don. Let's go, man. Producer Jack, Michigan fan, says, the Don is Donovan Edwards. Not in Steelers Nation, he's not, Jack. That belongs to Omar, the con artist Khan. Yes, sir. $2 Super Chat from Fernando Martin. Thank you so much, Fernando, for your support, my friend. Good to see your face. $10 Super Chat from Andrew Arnold. Says, Khan is making smart moves. I can see the draft being crazy. He must have a plan. Let's go, Steelers Nation. Great on-point coverage. I appreciate you, Andrew Arnold. That's why you subscribe to the channel. This week has been nuts, man. I'm not going to lie. You had the Russell Wilson announcement on Sunday where Coop and I went live. Then you had the Deontay Johnson trade. Then you had the Patrick Queen signing. Then you had the Kenny Pickett trade. I mean, this week has been nuts. And now the Justin Fields thing. This has been an incredible week for Steelers Nation. I mean, this time last week, Jack, we were still under the impression, or I mean, Russell Wilson was visiting, so we had an idea that he was coming. But by this last week, Kenny Pickett was still slated to be the starting quarterback of this football team. And now he's gone. You've got not only Russell Wilson, but you got Justin Fields as your backup quarterback.
Well, I mean, you guys were under the impression that it was going to be Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
And that Russ could potentially be the backup. And then obviously we know what happened, but going from I think you tweeted it or someone tweeted it. It's going from Pickett and Rudolph, and who was your quarterback 3 last year?
Trubisky. Well, I mean, Rudolph was 3 last year.
I got you. Pickett, Trubisky,
Rudolph.
And now you've got Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. You want to talk about the glow up of the century?
I mean, that is just unbelievable what Omar the Con Artist Khan has done. And he's not done yet, like a lot of you guys have been saying. Uh-oh! This one's coming in from Kurgan Cold Bang! Everybody spam Kurgan in the chat. Let's go. Everybody spam nice in the chat because I see that 69 in there. There we go. Everybody spam nice in the chat. Let's go, baby. Kurgan Cold, you're a real one, my friend. Black Diamond, it's good to see your face. Party time in the Steel City. We got Russell Wilson, and we've got Justin frickin' Fields as a backup. Absolutely phenomenal. All right, I would have taken either one of these quarterbacks over Kenny Pickett. I was always on the Russ train over the Fields train there, but man, having both of them in the same room, I mean, one of these guys has to work out, right? I mean, I think Russ is going to play really well. I think he's a great fit for the offense, and I think Fields is a really good backup option where the season is not lost, or at least not completely lost if Russ goes down. So appreciate you. Kurgan also sent in a $6 super chat earlier today, so appreciate you, Kurgan. You are freaking amazing, my friend. I appreciate you. Oh, another Black Diamond in the house here. Samuel Pugh says, hey, man, I said DJ and KP was out of here, LOL, and still got Fields with a way better trade than I suggested. I mean, people were talking about, people on Twitter over these last day or two, ever since it was reported the Steelers were interested in Fields. Everybody was like, oh, let's trade the 3rd round pick we got in the Kenny Pickett trade. And I was the guy on Twitter, and I was like, what are we talking about here, guys? He's going to be the backup quarterback if we trade for him. It's going to be a 5th round pick at best. All right, and right now you're setting it up where if everything goes the way that you expect it to, okay? The best case scenario is that Russell Wilson plays well, and you don't even have to think about Justin Fields for the entire season, and all you're giving up is a 6th round pick next year for a really high-end backup quarterback this season, a year that you are really trying to get Cam Hayward a Super Bowl championship before he ends up retiring. All right, and the Steelers absolutely meant what they said when they said that we are not going to accept mediocrity anymore at this position. They got everybody's ass out of here, and they're bringing in 2 guys that can absolutely get the job done if called upon. $20 super chat here from Anthony Fuller. Says, Kenny who? Kenny who? That's right, man. I mean, I said it on yesterday's show, Jack Lauderay, you weren't here, but I'm not going to turn this into a shit on Kenny show, all right? Because I think he's a good guy. I think he's a good kid. I know people are ripping him right now because he was kind of a baby about getting replaced and all these different things. And, there's merit to that argument, but, I'm not going to say that he's like a bad person or anything. So, and I think he did get shafted by the Steelers. He did not he was not given the proper things that he needed to even have a chance at success in this league. So I'm not gonna bash Kenny. All right, I was always in favor of replacing him because I care about this football team, and that was best for this football team. But as a human being, I'm not going to trash him as a person.
Well, yeah, and you're taking one quarterback from a crappy situation, Pickett in Pittsburgh, and you're bringing in another one. Fields had a crappy situation in Chicago, and now he's coming to Pittsburgh with a relatively better situation, I would say.
Oh, yeah, no question. I mean, he's not going to be playing on Sundays, or at least we don't think, for at least the first couple of weeks. So, would you rather start on a bad team or back up on a good team? I think you'd rather start. There's only 32 of these jobs. But
you could argue the Bears are not that bad of a team anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
They've been upgrading big time for Caleb Williams.
So listen, man, if I'm Justin Fields, I'm crushed that the market is what it was for him this year. I mean, people were talking about, a few weeks ago, people were talking about trading our first round pick this year for Justin Fields to replace Kenny Pickett. We end up getting him eventually at the end of the day for a conditional 6th round pick that could turn into a 4th. All right, if he doesn't play this year, Jack Lauderay, we gave up pretty much the same amount for Justin Fields as the Jaguars gave up for Mac Jones. That is incredible value. Justin Fields at 24 years old still, he's younger than Kenny Pickett.
Well, and consider, again, and I think we've already kind of discussed this, Russ is going to be here for a few years. He's going to retire eventually. And then you've got Justin Fields. And personally, in my opinion, I think Fields is a pretty good quarterback. He's been in a horrible situation in Chicago.
Absolutely.
Now, he's got a lot of improvement to do, but he's going to get to do that now behind Russell Wilson. So I think if Fields works out the way that I think he could,
sure,
then you could potentially have your quarterback situation prepared for potentially the next decade.
Yeah, I mean,
for a 6th round pick.
Well, at that point, it would be a 4th, right? Because if he plays this year.
No, but I'm talking about Russ will be the starter for the next
I see what
many
you mean.
years. And then once Russ retires or once Russ goes wherever he goes,
sure,
then you've got Fields ready in the wings.
Yeah, I mean, if Russ is here for 5 years and Fields is still here backing him up and he eventually takes over when he's 29 years old, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, by that point, yeah, but here's the thing, though. When it comes to Fields, what makes him really dynamic as a player right now is his rushing ability. And that has an expiration date on it. No question about it, right? So if if he eventually gets his chance when he's 29, I don't know if his legs are going to be the same level that it is right now.
Yes, but if you can get him to improve as a passer, then
big if there though.
Then yes,
big if.
This is all a big if. This is the NFL.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
We live on ifs.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the NFL. If you can get him to the level of passer that we think he potentially could get to, then he might not be as dynamic 1,000-yard runner as he was, but will he need to be, though? That's the question.
I mean, if he's sitting for 5 years straight, I mean, does that, I know.
My thing isn't, I'm saying, you got Russ for maybe 3 years. Now, I don't know.
But if Russ is still playing well.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
But again, we're living in a world of ifs.
Sure.
No idea because Russ has regressed. He just has. He had an okay season last year.
Pretty good season
last year.
Borderline top 10 season last year.
But he's not who he was in Seattle.
Yeah, I mean,
leading Seattle to Super Bowls.
Sure, absolutely. And by the way, when he was winning and getting to Super Bowls with Seattle, it wasn't Russ that was the main engine. It was the defense, right? It was Legion of Boom. He was a good quarterback, and you can't win a Super Bowl without a good quarterback. But his best years were 2015, 2016, when they had a bad defense, when they had a bad O-line, and he was still carrying them to wins and 12-win seasons, right? Obviously, Russ isn't at that level anymore. I think that's what you're trying to say, and that's correct. But can we still get a level of quarterback play from Russell Wilson where back in the Super Bowl winning days in Seattle, behind a great defense here in Pittsburgh with TJ Watt and all the money that they're putting on the defensive side of the ball. All right, when I look at the players that the Steelers are paying right now, the two most expensive players on the Steelers offense is their left and right guard, which it's just unbelievable how young that defense or offense is.
I think, moral of the story, Pittsburgh's in a great situation right now.
They are. Absolutely.
Moral of the story, Pittsburgh's in a great situation right now.
I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, 2 weeks ago, we were hearing that the Steelers had full faith in Kenny Pickett, and they wanted to bring back Mason Rudolph. And if that was the case, I would have had to rip my eyes out. I mean, that is like no chance at the Super Bowl, maybe like a 0.5% chance that like Mason Rudolph could do it. But like now you have a chance where you have two dynamic quarterback talents in the building at the same time. And by the way, Jack, I cannot wait to get my ass to Latrobe in St. Vincent and watch the Steelers in training camp this year. It's going to be amazing. The energy and the crowds that are going to show up to watch not only Russell Wilson, but also Justin Fields practice live in that very intimate environment that they got there for training camp for the Steelers. It's going to be one of the best experiences I've ever had as a Steelers fan. I thought last year was great when they had Kenny Pickett and Mitchell Trubisky. A lot of you guys came up to me, saying you love the show and you guys know who you are, and I appreciate you. But man, this year with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, the electricity is going to be palpable in Latrobe this year. I cannot wait. $50 super chat from Princeton Cummings. Let's go. 50 buckaroos from PC. Good to see your face, Princeton. Thank you for that $50 super chat. The Steelers are back, baby. The Steelers are freaking back, all right? With Ben Roethlisberger, we knew the last couple of years of his career, he was waning. The team was waning. And we're like, you know what? Winter is coming. We need to replace the quarterback. And who was the guy they brought in? Kenneth Pickett and Mitchell Trubisky. And, winter came, and it was a long 2 seasons offensively with Matt Canada leading the way. But you know what? Now the sun is starting to come up on the horizon. You can start to feel the warmth on your cheeks. And now the Pittsburgh Steelers have not one, but 2 dynamic quarterback talents on their team with this roster and this head coach and this defense and George Pickens and Arthur Smith and all the people that we have in the building right now. Omar Khan said at the Combine he wants other people to be watching the Steelers in the Super Bowl next season, and he wasn't messing around here, folks. Absolutely love it. $5 super chat here from Curtis Sanders. Appreciate the $5 support here from Curtis. Thank you so much, my friend. $5 super chat from Steve Young. Says, would love to see the Steelers use Justin Fields occasionally on third and short situations to keep defenses off balance and keep them happy. So, Justin Fields, it's like, you have no obligations to Justin Fields to quote-unquote keep him happy, all right? You're bringing him in as a backup quarterback here, Jack Lauderay. So, would it be – here's the thing, though, Steve. I don't completely disagree with you because on those 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 situations, goal line situations, having a big, strong quarterback like Justin Fields for those QB sneaks, very, very valuable. Just look at how the Philadelphia Eagles are able to use their big, strong quarterback in Jalen Hurts to pick up first downs on every 4th and 1 situation. It's extremely valuable to have that skill set and that at your disposal if you're a football team. So I like that. Expect to see some tush pushes from the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2024. My man Daryl Oglesby with a $5 super chat here. Appreciate you, Daryl. Thanks for showing up today, my friend. Good to see your face in the chat. Absolutely love it. $9 super chat here from Kurgan Cold. Thank you guys so much for all of your support there from Kurgan Cold. And by the way, he likes to send in $6 super chats and $9 super chats. So he's a big fan of the 69s, like me and Coop are here at Steelers Talk. Very nice, very nice. $2 super chat from Steelers Dad says Khan deserves a statue. You know what, man? If the Steelers win a Super Bowl this year, give him a damn statue. I don't even care if it's his second year as the GM. Give him a damn statue. And you know what? You gotta. His statue has to have like the pixelated sunglasses on him, and he needs to be smoking a joint. That's what, I mean, he's just a boss. He's a G. All right, he's absolutely unbelievable. Okay, so here are the trade details, guys, if you are just joining us for Justin Fields, and you're looking at that 6th-round pick. I posted on Twitter earlier today. I think the compensation for Justin Fields would be something around a 5th-round pick. All right, and, you know, it's a conditional 6th-round pick that could turn into a 4th. All right, so let's bring those two together. Let's find the average of 4 and 6, and you find the value there. What's the value here? 5th-round pick. All right, I absolutely nailed it. I put that out earlier today. We also nailed the Kenny Pickett destination. 3 weeks ago, I said if Kenny Pickett gets traded, I predict it's to the Philadelphia Eagles. We nailed that. A month before Russell Wilson signed here, I said the Steelers, it makes the most sense for the Steelers to sign Russell Wilson. Guess what happened? The Steelers signed Russell Wilson. All right, it's like Omar Khan watches the show, and he's like, you know this Jack Sperry guy, man? This guy knows what he's talking about. Let's do what he says. And you know what, man? Good things happen when you listen to Jack Sperry. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. All right, and look at this. 6th-round pick if Justin Fields doesn't play. 4th-round pick if Justin Fields does play this season. I think that's a great freaking value if you ask me. Now, make sure you guys like this video right now if you like the trade. If you like the trade, we got 1,700 people in the chat right now, about 370 likes. I want to get this up to at least 500 likes. So do me a favor right now. Type me in the chat if you have liked today's show. Type me in the chat if you have liked today's show. I'll give you a shout out if you do so. We got Brian Ruiz, Hot Piss, Edward Mask, Kurgan Cold, Marilyn Krieger is here, Aaron Thomas, Steve Fisher, Steven, Snowman, Michael, Dabs, R. Krabs, Daryl's here, Mike, Tom. They're going so fast I can't even read them. Steelers Dad, Cynthia, Hot Rod, I'm Shifty, Richard, Peyton, Rodrigo, Ben, M. Power, David King, Deadly, Rodrigo, Dominic, David King, Aaron Harris, Dominic's here. Let's go, man. We got a bunch of people in the chat right now. Keep them coming. Disabled, man. We're 50 likes away from 500. Let's get to 500 right now. Titus Kitchen, DJ KJ, Timmy Locklear, Funky Cheese, Mr. Deadhead, KDTV, Dabs, Gregory White, Robert Brown, Antonio McMillan, Alejandro is here. Come on, baby. 30 left. 30 left. Darkest Light. We got Andy. We got Tony. We got Ryan. We got Brock. We got EL. We got Kirk Wilson. Got Brock Walker. We got Antonio. Got Offsides Edits. Got Jeremy Piat. We've got Isaac Film Flam. We got Abdul. Come on, baby. Let's get it going. $20 super chat coming in here from Christopher Roy. Says, called it on the last live after we traded Kenny. Fields is a Steeler. Yes, you did, Christopher Roy. Way to nail it, my friend. Good job. Appreciate your support, Christopher. You've been with us all week. You are a real one, and we love you, and we appreciate you right here on Steelers Talk. $5 super chat from Frank Mars. Thank you so much for your support, Frank. Thanks for showing up today. Frank, correct me if I'm wrong, but could this be a first-time super chat? I don't recognize Frank. Maybe my memory's just not serving me right here, but I appreciate your $5. What is that? Frank Mars. First time super chat. Let's give him some Ric Flair drip, folks. Woo! Appreciate you, Frank. Thank you so much, my friend. Let's just do one Ric Flair drip for all the other first timers that we missed. Woo! Gotta love it, man. Gotta freaking love it. $5 super chat from Julio Valles. With all these signings, who do you think will take in the first round? So if the Steelers make no more moves for the rest of the free agency, which isn't going to happen, by the way, they're going to sign some people. But if the needs are right now are the same as on first night in Detroit, I think it's going to be offensive tackle. Okay, because you got to get one of those tackles. I do not want Dan Moore Jr. starting again next year, guys. Broderick Jones, I don't care if you put him on the right side or the left side. Go out and get another young tackle. Now, I would actually be in favor of signing Trent Brown, top 10 graded left tackle in football last year with the New England Patriots. And because he's had some behavior issues in the past, he's going to come cheaper. But I feel like Mike Tomlin is really good at corralling these types of personalities. So I would like Trent Brown. David Bakhtiari is another name to be watching out in free agency as well. But I really like Talisi Fuaga out of Oregon State. I think he'd be an absolutely mauling right tackle. You can move Broderick over to the left side, which you drafted him for. And I think that Fuaga is the best run-blocking tackle in the draft this year. So Fuaga's there at 20. I think he's a Steeler. First-time Super Chatter here from Lyndon G. Let's give him some Ric Flair drip. Woo! And he says, was this your dream QB room? Love your content. Landon, I appreciate your support. Thanks for watching. I try to do my best for you. And my dream QB room, I mean, it kind of was, man. Out of the options that were available, it's kind of hard to imagine how they could have done better for less money. Because you're paying Russell Wilson nothing. You're paying Justin Fields like $3 million next year. And yeah, you're going to have to pick up 3.7 of your cap next year for Kenny Pickett in dead cap. But overall, for the quarterback position, barring what they do for the third and fourth quarterback spots going into camp, I mean, you're paying nothing for your quarterback position. You've got two guys that are pretty damn talented and pretty damn good. So I feel like for the price and for the talent that's here, yeah, this is the ideal quarterback room that Omar Khan could have put together. Good question, Landon. Then we got $2 super chat from Logie. Says, I frickin' told you. Fields confirmed to Pitt. One T there, Logie. Pitt with the two T's is the Pitt Panthers. But I won't hold that against you there, Logie. But I appreciate you, my friend. I thank you for watching our content. Logie's one of the real ones here at Steelers Talk. And yep, man, you told me, my friend. I mean, there's a lot of people that wanted this to happen. And lo and behold, it happened. $2 super chat from my buddy Trey Roberson. Says, craziest offseason ever. What the hell going on? I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it too, man. I mean, 2 weeks ago, we thought it was going to be the most boring offseason ever. Bringing back Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph. Gross. I mean, come on. Like, how far did that get us before, right? First round exits. So, in 1 year, no playoffs. So, yeah, I'm embracing the craziness. I'm embracing the new school approach that Omar Khan is bringing to the Steelers. And I don't think anybody in their right mind can ever say again that the Steelers don't make these kinds of splash moves, because all Omar Khan has done since coming here has been make these kinds of moves. He traded Chase Claypool that ended up being a Joey Porter Jr. pick at the top of round 2 next year. He's your lockdown number 1 corner of the future. All right, you go out and you sign Russell Wilson to arguably the best value contract at the quarterback position in NFL history, and now you get this trade for Justin Fields where if he doesn't play, I mean, fine, he's a high-end backup and you pay a 6th-round pick for him. And then if he does play, you get somebody that could be your future franchise quarterback for a 4th-round pick. So it's like, I love the value. I love the moves that Omar Khan is making. Bringing in Patrick Queen, the old Steelers regime would never do that. So I love the craziness. I love the chaos. I love it. Excuse me. $10 super chat, first time super chatter from Disabled Army Vet Crable. Let's give him some Ric Flair drip. Woo! And appreciate your service, Mr. Crable. And he says, people were talking about getting rid of Tomlin. I mean, yeah. I mean, here's the thing, man. I understand where people are coming from and where their anger comes from and their frustration comes from, because this team hasn't won a playoff game in 7 years, all right? It's been since they haven't won a game since like the Killer Bees were still here, all right? That's too long of a time period. But listen, man, I think that Mike Tomlin always gets the most out of these teams, and in the NFL, coaching only takes you so far. All right, you need to have good coaching to win a championship. You can't have a bad coach and win a championship in this league. It's just too competitive and too good. But coaching can only take you so far. At some point, you have to have a quarterback that is playing at a top 15 level come playoff time for you to have a chance. And Mike Tomlin hasn't had that since 2017 when they lost to the Jaguars in the first round of the playoffs. Granted, that was a game at home that they should have won against Blake Bortles and that team. But remember, man, they were like a couple minutes away from upsetting the MVP Tom Brady that year on the road in Foxborough to go to the Super Bowl. So it's not like that Jaguars team were scrubs or anything like that. I think the Steelers should have been more competitive in that game. But that was the last time Mike Tomlin had a top 15 quarterback in the playoffs that was still playing at a top 15 level by the end of the season. I mean, Big Ben, his final few years, he'd play good to start seasons, and then he would kind of be cooked by the end of the year. His stamina just kind of ran out right towards the end of his career. And then you get the only playoff appearance without Ben, and that's with Mason Rudolph last year, and he wasn't good. I mean, he's not a top 15 quarterback. Russell Wilson could be, I think he's going to be a borderline top 10 quarterback in the league next year. It might even be borderline. He might be a bona fide top 10 quarterback next year with this system and these weapons and the things that he has to work with in this OC. And with Tomlin leading the way, now that he finally has that caliber of quarterback again, I absolutely think that this team is going to be ready to start competing for Super Bowls once again and start winning playoff games in January once again. $5 super chat here from Trace Rawls, and he says, Bears fan here. You got a great person in Fields. Integrity, character, and leadership is what we loved about Fields. Wishing him nothing but love. Appreciate the $5 super chat there, Trace. And yeah, man, there was a poll that I saw today, producer Jack, that 50% of Bears fans would rather go with Justin Fields as their starting quarterback next year than draft anybody in the draft this year, including Caleb Williams. So that tells you how much that fan base appreciates Justin Fields. They see something in this kid, and, there's definitely something there to work with, all right? He's got extremely amazing athletic traits, a great arm, playmaking instincts, all right? Now, like the nuances of the game, like footwork, accuracy, mental processing, all those things still need to be roughed out, no question about it. And after 3 years, it is worth questioning whether or not those things will ever show up. But he is a good person. He works hard. It's the type of he's a Steeler, all right? Mike Tomlin identified this guy as a Steeler all the way back in 2021. The Steelers would have drafted him if he would have fell to them in the draft that year. Of course, he ends up going to Chicago, I believe 12th overall, if I'm not mistaken. It's somewhere in the top 15. I think it was 12th that year that they traded up with the Vikings. So, I'm excited to get him. I think he's a good, high-quality kid, and I think he's the type of guy where if Russell Wilson gets hurt, this season is not completely over. $20 super chat from Princeton Cummings. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button. Earlier today, I called the compensation for Justin Fields. 3 weeks ago, I called the Kenny Pickett trade destination. And a month ago, I predicted that the Steelers would sign Russell Wilson. So listen, man, with the Jerry Dulacs of the world and all the quote-unquote insiders telling you that Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett was going to be the quarterback next year, don't you want a Steelers source that actually gets these things right? Well, you found the right spot here at Steelers Talk. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button. We got daily and free Pittsburgh Steelers content for you guys over the next several weeks. We're going to be breaking down the games of Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, respectively. Full scouting reports, all that great stuff. And, of course, NFL free agency breaking news coverage just like we've had this week, as well as in-depth draft coverage. Tomorrow we actually have first-round draft targets for the Pittsburgh Steelers coming out on the channel. So make sure you guys don't miss that content. I see that we got about 1,300 people still in the chat right now, so make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already and help us get to 50K. We're sitting right at the door right now. Oh! Darkest Light strikes again with a $50 super chat. He says, I hope we trade up to get Roma Dunze in the first round and draft Zach Frazier in the second round. Well, here's the thing. You might have to give up that second round pick if you're trading up, wouldn't you think, Jack? Or maybe give up next year's first for Roma Dunze. Here's the thing, though, Darkest. There's a lot of good receivers in this draft. Obviously, Roma Dunze is one of the blue chips. But if you sit at 20 or even get into the second round, there's going to be somebody that falls to you that's going to be a damn good number 2 receiver in this league. Because you already got George Pickens, all right? He's your alpha, number 1 guy. Now, would I love Rome Odunze? Absolutely. If he starts falling and he gets to like 15 or 14 or whatever, you want to trade up a couple spots to go get your guy, I'd be okay with that. I mean, I'm not going to say no to George Pickens and Rome Odunze. No way. Especially with his contested catch ability. But, yeah, man, I think that they're probably going to be good with taking a receiver early that's not Rome Odunze and not trade up for a receiver. Who knows what's going to happen? And I'd love Rome Odunze, but I think they're probably going to go in another direction. First time super chat here from Derek Smith. Let's give him some Ric Flair drip. Woo! Says new QB room so much better, but still feel worried about a split locker room. Do you think the draft pick conditions will stop that? Russell Wilson's going to be the guy, is what I'll say. And I think people know that, okay? Now, there's going to be a rift in the fan base. I said this on yesterday's live show. Okay, I said it on yesterday's live show. If they trade for Justin Fields, then there's going to be a team Russ and there's going to be a team Fields. Okay, that's just the way this thing is going to work. And, you know, when I was talking about it yesterday, I'm like, that's the one thing that kind of gives me pause about this, because if Russell Wilson has like one bad game, or if he starts the season and we start the season at like 1-2 or something, you know, there's going to be people at Acrisure that are chanting, "We want Justin. We want Justin." And, like, you know, there's going to be stuff like that happening. So, you know, I don't think it's going to split the locker room, because I think Mike is going to get in front of the team and everyone's going to be like, we're getting behind Russell Wilson. All right. And Justin Fields will be paraded out on Steelers media, and he's going to say, Russell Wilson's the starting quarterback. I am the backup. I am here to support Russ in any way that I can. And this entire organization is going to get behind Russell. But that's not going to stop the Justin Fields people in this fan base from, you know, wanting him to play over Russ. Okay. So it's going to be more of a rift within the fan base than the team, in my opinion. And we'll see if that rift in the fan base leaks into the locker room. But I honestly don't think it will. I think winning is going to cure all wounds here. And I think that even though there's going to be people that think Justin Fields should play, I think Russell Wilson's going to have enough success this season where even the Justin Fields people are eventually going to be like, hey, man, we're winning with Russell Wilson. We're playing great ball. I support our QB. Then we got a $10 super chat from DJS. Says, today is a great day to be a Steelers fan. Even as a backup with development, he shows so much promise, and we barely gave up anything for him. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Gotta love it, DJS. Appreciate you, my friend, and I completely agree. Now, if you think we're making this trade for him to be our long-term franchise quarterback, I think you're going to be disappointed. I think the door is open to that possibility, but the only way that really happens is if Russell Wilson just stinks it up, or if he gets hurt or something like that. Russell Wilson's going to have to be removed for Fields to have a chance, and then Fields is going to have to take advantage of that chance and prove himself. So those are two pretty big ifs there for Justin Fields to become the franchise quarterback. It's not impossible, okay, but you know, it is unlikely, because he does have a 1-year contract, because they're not going to pick up the 5th year. They're just not, with that amount of money for a backup. They're not going to pay that. And I look at a guy like Justin Fields. He's going to be a free agent in 25. If he gets a chance to start elsewhere, he's going to take it. All right, he's going to take that opportunity. Now, will he get an opportunity to start on the free agency market next year? Who knows? All right, who knows? But, you know, the chances of Justin Fields being anything more than a 1-year rental as a backup are relatively slim, in my opinion, because I do think that he, you know, if Russ plays well and he gets signed to a multi-year extension, is Justin Fields really going to want to come back to the Pittsburgh Steelers and be his bona fide backup with pretty much no chance of playing, because Russell Wilson will then be locked up to a big contract with lots of money owed to him? I'm not sure. I think he'd probably rather go out and do what Mason Rudolph did and find a spot where he has a chance to play. But the reason why I like the move is because if Russell Wilson gets hurt or if he stinks, Justin Fields is a great plan B option. And if one of those two things happen, the season is not completely over. It's not completely over with Justin Fields coming in as his backup, right? So, and then there's always the chance that if Russ stinks and Justin Fields finishes off the season and he looks good and he shows promise in this offense, then you can move forward with him, sign him to an extension, sign him in free agency next year, and bring him back now as your franchise quarterback. That's always a possibility for the Steelers. So there's lots of ways that this could go. But if I would have to say what the most likely scenario is right now, I would say Russell Wilson has a very, very good 2024 season where he leads the Steelers to at least one playoff game and puts them solidly in contention for a Super Bowl. And when and if he does that, he's gonna get signed to like a 3-4 year contract worth a lot of money. All right, because Denver is only footing the bill for this season. So you're gonna have to pay Russ after this year. And I think that's probably the most likely option. And after Russ does that, I think Fields would probably want to go elsewhere. So I think it's a one-year rental for a backup. Then we got $2 super chat here from Tom Hutchison. It says, I believe it's a 2025 conditional 6th-round pick. Yeah, exactly. Yes, that is correct, Tom. So 2025 6th-round pick, conditional, that if Justin Fields plays a certain amount of snaps this year for the Steelers, it'll turn into a 4th-round pick. So that's kind of the way that it breaks down here. And honestly, guys, I think it's a great value for the Pittsburgh Steelers no matter how you slice it. And by the way, Omar Khan is really good at these deals. It was kind of like the Allen Robinson trade last year. You know, the trade that they did to get Allen Robinson to the Steelers, obviously it didn't work out with the player, right? Allen Robinson was terrible last year. We know that. But they gave up nothing for him, all right? Omar Khan does these deals where, like, no matter what happens, like, the Steelers are going to get a good value for it. So if Justin Fields is a 1-year rental backup and never hits the field as the Steelers quarterback, fine. All you give up is a 6th-round pick for a high-level backup as your plan B for this year, in this year that you're trying to win a Super Bowl. And then if he ends up playing and he plays a lot, great. You just gave up a 4th-round pick for him, and you're probably bringing him back next season, right? So there's a lot. I really like how it's a win-win scenario here for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Omar Khan really has an instinct for making these kinds of trades where no matter how things kind of shake out, the Steelers are going to be winners. A $50 super chat from Mark Stevens. Let's go! Mark, my man, thank you so much for the $50 super chat. Show Mark some love in the chat, if you will, man. My man Mark sent in a 50. Send some love down there in the chat. I appreciate everybody down there, and I appreciate you, Mark. $2 super chat from Ricky. Says, will the Steelers get Tyler Boyd? I think so. I think that's the next move that's going to happen. I think that's going to be the next Steelers Talk live show. That's my prediction right there. All right, I think that the Jets seem to be interested in Mike Williams. If they sign Mike Williams, I think Tyler Boyd's running out of options, all right, because he was talking with the Chiefs. They got Hollywood Brown. He's talking with the Jets. Now they're interested in Mike Williams. So if Mike Williams ends up getting signed by the Jets, it's like the gods just like clearing the path for Tyler Boyd to join the Pittsburgh Steelers next year. And listen, man, if Boyd comes here, he's not going to be the number 2 receiver. He'll be like the 3rd guy, slot wide receiver, good run blocker, savvy route runner. Very, very important piece to the offense, by the way. But I think the Steelers are going to try to get a wide receiver early in the draft this year. And honestly, guys, I think Omar Khan is going to get a steal for Tyler Boyd, like a $4 or $5 million deal, something like that. And I think that'll be good for this team. So let me know down there in the comments section. Name a player the Steelers will sign. Do you think Tyler Boyd is up next? Do you think Justin Simmons is up next? Do you think, I don't know, Connor Williams is next? Let me know down there in the comments section. Jed Burra says, trade up for Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm not giving up as much as it's going to take to get Marv. I love Marv, but no. A funny YouTube name says Tyler Boyd. He wants Tyler Boyd. Neon Card says he wants Connor Williams. Colton says he wants Tyler Boyd. SIR Schwartz says DJ Chark. That one's interesting. Trey Morningstar says T. Higgins. Oh, my goodness. Would that be something? Somebody's saying Xavier Howard in there. Lucas Florence says Justin Jefferson. The Justin Jefferson thing, man, it's just not happening. Steelers Nation says DJ Moore. Pair him back up with Justin Fields, even though Fields would be up holding a clipboard. Oh my gosh, Jack, are you seeing this? Are you seeing this, Jack? This one's coming in from Wayne Clifford. Bang! Oh, 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 oh. Everybody spam Wayne in the chat. Let's go. Wayne Clifford with a $100 super chat. Let's ride. 2025 Super Bowl winners, Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh my goodness. Wayne, unbelievable, my friend. You're a real one. Shout out to you. And yes, baby, 2025 in February in New Orleans. How about this? Steelers beat the Philadelphia Eagles with Kenny Pickett watching the confetti fall on the black and gold. How about that? I would love that, man. I would absolutely love to see Kenny Pickett watch the Steelers win a damn Super Bowl. That'd bring a very big smile to my heart. $5 super chat from Abdul K. Short. First time super chatter. Let's give him some Rick Flair drip. Woo! Says this was an awesome move. Absolutely love it. Let's go. I love it, Abdul. Thank you so much for your support. Another first-time super chatter here, David King. First-time super chatter. Let's give him some Ric Flair drip. Woo! He says, I'm disappointed with how we're handling the O-line in free agency. Do you see us making a move? I do. Of some sort, all right? Because, who are you going to have at center next year? James Daniels, Nate Herbig, who's not a fit in the system anymore, by the way. He's more of a power guy. No. They're going to be making moves, whether they be in the draft or free agency. And, I feel like you have to get a veteran at either offensive tackle or center. At least one of them. Okay? Because, Broderick Jones is still developing, right? This offense next year is going to be heavily, heavily, heavily dependent on the run game. And you need a solid offensive line, or if not a very good offensive line, to run the type of system that the Steelers are planning to run next year. So if you have, let alone one, but three developing offensive linemen, young offensive linemen drafted in the last 2 years at center and at each bookend there at the tackle positions, that scares me a little bit. All right, I want some vets in there. I want some experience. I want some guys that I know for sure can get the job done, right? And it scares me to just hand jobs to rookies and be like, we have no plan B option if you stink, right? So I would expect, David, that they make some moves on the offensive line, at least at one of those spots, whether it's Connor Williams, whether it's Evan Brown at center, or whether it's Trent Brown or David Bakhtiari or Mekhi Becton at tackle. I don't know what the moves are going to be, but I would expect moves to happen in the next week or so. $2 super chat from Keyshawn Gregory, first-time super chatter. Let's give him some Ric Flair drip. Woo! Says the Steelers are having a great offseason, and I couldn't agree with you more, Keyshawn. Now, it's still not over. You still need to get the right pieces along the offensive line, right? They haven't made a move on there yet. No tackle sign, no center sign. It's been all defensive guys, and then they made a move for the quarterbacks, And then, of course, Van Jefferson was the kind of one offensive move that wasn't a quarterback so far. But, like, you got to make some more moves on the O-line, in my opinion. You got to get some depth on the defensive line. You need another corner. You probably need some cornerback depth as well. Could maybe use another safety if you don't want Damonte KZ. And by the way, producer Jack, how crazy would it be? How crazy would it be if they end up signing Justin Simmons to play alongside Minkah Fitzpatrick next season? They're in the mix, apparently.
Crazy. Crazy.
I mean, this Steelers defense, I think, is already going to be the best defense in football next year. If you add Justin Simmons to the middle of that defense and the 3 safety package that you could deploy with Justin Simmons out there, and especially at this point in the game, it's probably going to be like on a $7 or $8 million contract, which would be a steal for a 4-time All-Pro. I mean, good luck scoring on the Steelers defense, NFL. I mean, you're just not going to be able to do it. And by the way, QB1 has reacted to the Justin Fields news. It looks like he's taking it a little bit better than Kenny Pickett took the news that he was coming to the Steelers. Let's get it, Justin Fields. QB room about to be fire. God, it's just so refreshing to have a guy that is as positive as Russell Wilson is, and the optimism and the energy that he brings to the table. Jack says he's positive to a fault. It can be a good thing, but sometimes, Russ is the type of guy, and he was your teammate on the college baseball team or whatever, but even if you're down by like 15 runs, he's like, all right, guys, come on, you got to believe, we can still win this, And it's like, dude, it's the bottom of the 7th and 2 outs, we're down by 15. Shut up, all right, we're losing this. He's that kind of guy, but also, that's the kind of guy that you love having in your corner when you're winning, because that guy's always fired up, that guy's instilling belief in you, and that's why the narrative on Russ has shifted since his time in Seattle, Jack, right? Because when he was in Seattle, people are like, man, he's so energetic, he's so positive, we love it, and the general consensus on Russ was that, his personality worked in the National Football League because they were winning. But then he goes to Denver, and he's still like Mr. Positive, Mr. Cheesy, Mr. Corny, but they're losing. And, people don't like it when people are that way when they're losing. Plain and simple. That's just the way humans are. If people are down, they don't like positive energy in their space. They just don't. And Russ is always positive. Now, the good news is I feel like it's going to be all positive vibes in the Steelers locker room next year because they have so much talent, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I think he's a perfect fit for Arthur Smith's offense. I think Russell is going to cook next year. I think he's going to be unbelievable. And I actually think there's an argument to be made. And this might sound crazy to anybody that's not a Steelers fan, but they might be the second best team in the AFC next year. And there's some good teams in the AFC. Baltimore is a good team. Houston has a good team. Cincinnati will probably be good again next year. But, man, with Russell Wilson and this defense, you won 10 games with Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph and Mitchell Trubisky losing you 3 in a row last year. I mean, goodness gracious, the Steelers should win at least 12 games next year, Jack Lauderay. And if you got 12 wins, that's going to put you in the consideration for the AFC North crown. And if you have home playoff games, you're going to have a chance to go quite a bit in the playoffs.
I mean, you already had an elite defense, in my opinion, I think in most people's opinion.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way to refute that.
Now you got a quarterback.
Two quarterbacks.
Make it happen.
Make it happen, baby. And Russell Wilson, I'm sure he's already communicated with Justin Fields. And by the way, right before he got drafted to the Chicago Bears, Justin Fields was asked in an interview who he models his game after. You want to guess the quarterback that he said? Russell frickin' Wilson. All right? He said that he models his game after this cat. And now he's on the same team with him, and he gets to learn from him man-to-man in that quarterback room for at least the next season. I think this is exactly what Justin Fields needs for his career. A year to sit, a year to learn, a year to really develop his nuances and his footwork and his accuracy and his mental processing with Russell Wilson throughout the year, watching the way Russ goes about his business as one of the hardest workers in the sport. Now, is Justin going to get his next chance at a starting job in Pittsburgh? honestly, if I'm answering the question honestly here, Jack, barring an injury to Russell Wilson, I think that his next shot to start is going to be somewhere else, if it even happens at all. Okay, so I don't think he's going to start for the Steelers at all. I think he's going to be here for a year. If Russell Wilson stays healthy, he's going to play every single game for the Steelers this next season. And, he'll come in, they'll have a Justin Fields package, and it'll be super exciting. And on the watch parties, it's going to be absolutely electric. It's going to be so much fun to watch him practice at Latrobe in training camp this year. But, I don't think he's ever going to be the Steelers' starting quarterback, at least as long, or at least in the near future. Now, I could be wrong. If Russ gets hurt or if for some reason he stinks, Fields will get a shot. And I would be very intrigued to see what he does with that shot. But, if I'm telling you the most likely scenario, I think Justin Fields takes this year. He learns from Russ, one of his mentors. It's going to be somebody that he learns how to work the position and work the day-to-day quarterback room. And then after this year, he's going to hit the free agency market. I think there's going to be a little bit more of a market for him, Jack Lauderay, because you don't have to give up draft capital for him next year. I feel like he's going to be a cheap, young starter option that still has some upside for a team next year. And there's going to be somebody on the open market next year that doesn't get one of the big name free agent quarterbacks. It's not a good quarterback class next year in the draft. There's going to be some team out there that I think takes a shot on Justin Fields.
Look, I'm very high on Fields. I have been since he was drafted.
I was a huge Justin Fields guy coming out.
Also, make sure you subscribe. Subscribe. Please. Make sure you subscribe. I've always been high on Justin Fields. Probably to a fault, but optimistically. I think last year we saw such a bad brand of quarterback play, and Fields was not in that category, in my opinion. We saw horrible quarterback play last year.
I feel like that last stretch that he went on he played pretty decent.
Yeah.
Maybe in the first half of the season, Fields had some really bad games, and that's granted. But he's somebody that has improved his numbers every single year he's been in the league. He's gotten more accurate. He's gotten more yards. He's gotten the touchdown-interception ratio has got better every year. And he's still got that dynamic rushing ability. So I'm still a believer that Justin Fields can be a really good starting quarterback in this league, but he does need to develop the nuances of his game, and I think everybody acknowledges that.
I hate that it's come to this for him because I think he can be a successful quarterback in the NFL. And
I wanted the Giants to give him a shot.
And the fact that he's a backup, I just feel like he's gotten incredibly disrespected by the NFL.
And he feels that too, by the way. Better believe that
he feels that. And
this guy's motivated as ever.
So I feel like when we get to this time next year, I feel like he should be a pretty coveted quarterback because you're not going to have to pay him that much. I can't imagine. And
I mean, Sam Darnold got what, $10 million this year? He's younger than him.
There are going to be quarterbacks that need a quarterback that can actually ball because we're going to see once again this year, I can already see it. We're going to see 5 or 6 teams that had horrible quarterback play this coming season.
Minnesota's one of them.
They're going to be begging.
No, but here's the other thing, Jack, that you have to take into account. There's going to be probably 5 or 6 quarterbacks that are drafted in the first round this year. So those teams that draft quarterbacks probably, besides Caleb Williams and the guys that go right at the top, probably going to be pretty bad. So those 6 teams right there probably not looking for QBs, especially in the vein of Justin Fields. But next year, it looks like the quarterback class is going to be historically bad. So, if you're a team, like you said, that has bad quarterback play and you're looking for a brand new starting quarterback and you want somebody that has that athletic upside and you have somebody that has those playmaking instincts and the arm strength and somebody that just learned from one of the smartest QBs in the history of the National Football League in Russell Wilson for an entire season. And who knows, we might even see Justin for a couple of games if Russ gets hurt here and there. If he plays well in those situations, I don't see any reason why Justin can't get $12 to $15 million, kind of like a Gardner Minshew or something, and land somewhere on a 1-year prove-it deal, and he'll have one more shot as a starter in this league. Could totally see that happening. Could also see him getting a shot here in Pittsburgh if Russell Wilson gets injured, and if he balls out, like he's the younger option. If Justin Fields is playing as good or better than Russell Wilson before his injury, you got to go with the cheaper option in Justin Fields, and you re-sign him next offseason. But, Russ is one of the most durable quarterbacks in league history. I don't really see him getting hurt. And I feel like Russ is going to play well. So if I'd have to guess, I think Justin is going to take this year as a developmental year for him, get ready for his next opportunity, and then whenever, that opportunity comes up, I think he will get at least one more shot. He's going to be ready for it.
Agreed.
All right. $2 super chat here from Straighten Up and Fly Right. Says, could we get Justin Jefferson? So I know that CTESPN, and by the way, the fact that people are running with a rumor from CTESPN, it's Antonio Brown's quote-unquote production company. Unbelievable that people are actually listening to him. Unbelievable. You don't think Antonio Brown just throws shit out there to see if people actually pick it up? And it's Antonio Brown. Here's the thing, man. If you trade for Justin Jefferson, he's expecting to get paid almost $35 million per season on his next contract. Please point me in the direction of the money that the Steelers have. You'd have to trade the Minnesota Vikings, TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Minkah Fitzpatrick, somebody with a massive contract to make it work.
So you're going to have to trade a lot because Kwesi and the Vikings have made it abundantly clear that they are not, and I repeat, not even going to attempt to even think about.
The only way it happens is if he demands
trading Justin Jefferson. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So therefore, you will have to blow them out of the water with a trade proposal.
You'd have to give up. I would say, how about this? You sign Justin Simmons, trade Minkah Fitzpatrick, and you'd have to trade at least 2 first-round picks and Minkah, if not 3 first-rounders and Minkah. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. You already have a bona fide number 1 receiver, in my opinion, in George Pickens, who's going to absolutely have his breakout season next year with Russell Wilson throwing him that moon ball. It's just too good of a connection. We don't need Justin Jefferson. Go out in the draft and get somebody under contract control for the next 4 to 5 years, somebody that would be a good number 2 to George Pickens that has a complementary skill set. How about that? We don't need a guy like Justin Jefferson and pay him $35 million. Would it be cool? Hell yes. Justin Jefferson might be the most swaggy individual in the National Football League outside of Joe Burrow. And maybe he's even more than him. But, it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense financially. Doesn't make sense for the Vikings. Doesn't make sense, man. It just doesn't, in my opinion. But I appreciate you straight up and fly right. First time super chat. Let's give him some Ric Flair drip. Woo! $2 super chat here from Christopher C. Says, need Mims in the first. Still need cornerback. Best options. So, Jack, we've been doing the coverage on Chat Sports Maine all week. I don't think Stephon Gilmore got signed anywhere, right?
As of right now, I do not believe so. I think he is still out there.
I would love Stephon Gilmore here. All right, now I know he's a bit older, all right? He's the same age as Patrick Peterson, so I know there's going to be people in the chat saying, he's too old, he's slow, all these different things. And, last year, he still had a really good season, man. He shut down A.J. Brown, of all people, in Week 14 last year. Shut him down. At his age. And by the way, last year he was playing in a press man system where he was trusted on an island as their number 1 corner there in Dallas, and he did a fantastic job. So I like Stephon Gilmore. He's still available. You can get him probably for a steal at this point. He's an older veteran. And also, he'd be a great mentor for Joey Porter Jr. I mean, Joey Porter Jr. would be the number 1 next year, but, he's still a young player. He's still learning. I mean, maybe not learning the ropes. I mean, he played he played most of last season, and he played damn well. But, having that veteran presence in that room, I think is important. And, yeah, you've got Dante Jackson. You might be saying, what about Dante right now? He's got the physical skill set to play in the slot. Even though he's never played there before, I think Dante, with his speed and his shiftiness and at his size, And his physicality, he could be a great blitzer in the slot. I mean, Mike Tomlin is known for moving guys around to positions they've never played at before. Look at Patrick Peterson at safety last year. I mean, watch out for Dante Jackson playing in the slot for the Steelers next year, and then maybe get Stephon Gilmore. He's definitely the best corner still available. Still Xavier Howard is available. He would be a scheme fit, but I don't know if he has the legs anymore. I would be more worried about Xavier Howard being too old than Stephon Gilmore at this point personally. But that's where I'm at. And then, I think Amarius Mims is going to be a Cincinnati Bengal. They need a right tackle that can pass protect. And Amarius Mims can do that. Day one. Easy. He's my number 4 offensive tackle in this year's draft class. And he's the best pass-protecting right tackle in the class. And I just think that with the Bengals, with how much they're going to want to throw the football with Burrow next year, the fit with Mims just seems like too much sense. I think he's going to be a Bengal, unfortunately, because I love him so much. But then you could also go corner in the draft. Quinion Mitchell, I love. Nate Wiggins, maybe not the best fit because he's got shorter arms. I love Renardo Green as a day 2 option. So there's definitely options available. It'll be interesting to see what the con artist does. And we've got another $20 Super Chat from Wayne Clifford. By the way, this is not a first-time Super Chat because he sent in a 100 earlier. That's weird. I'll give you a Ric Flair drip. This was his first. Okay, so he sent this before the 100. So I'll give you some Ric Flair drip here, Wayne. Woo! Appreciate you, Wayne. Thank you so much for your support. Do we have any more Super Chats to get to here, Producer Jack? Oh, don't spread yourself too thin there, man. Really, no one else is available. I guess it is Saturday night right before St. Patrick's Day, so I'm sure people are partying. Fernando Martin says, could we still bring in Ryan Tannehill? Maybe. I mean, if you want to talk about the ideal quarterback situation, how about Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and then as a third option, as your Mason Rudolph this year, if things really go to shit, you have Ryan Tannehill. Somebody that had his best years of his career in this Arthur Smith system, somebody that had 33 touchdowns to 8 interceptions his last season in an Arthur Smith offense. I mean, that is like the perfect trio. If you would have asked me like last month what I would have loved to see, if I could pick 3 quarterbacks on the open market to add to the room, I would pick Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and Ryan Tannehill, and then I would tell you there was a 0% chance of it happening. But now there's a legitimate chance it could happen. Now, Ryan Tannehill will likely want to be a number 2 quarterback somewhere. And I think that there's enough jobs out there where Ryan Tannehill is still a top 64 quarterback in football. So we'll see where Tannehill kind of fits. But, I could definitely see it happening if he doesn't get a job as a number 2. Because, that he knows that he can operate this offense. Chi-Town Incan, and by the way, he'd be a great mentor to Fields and Russ within this offense. Chi-Town Incan says, is Fields really worth $26 million for his 5th-year option? Wouldn't it be smarter to avoid 36 fumbles and 30 interceptions in 4 games? So here's the thing, Chi-Town, they're not going to pick up his 5th-year option. They're getting him. They're going to decline his option because it is the Steelers' choice. They're not bringing Fields back for that 5th year on $26 million. So, listen, that's been a big thing, Producer Jack, is the fumbles, the interceptions. But over, I think, his last 7 starts, I think he only had like 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. But like his last 7 games or so, he really started to limit the turnovers, which is why the Bears started winning some of those games down the stretch. So he's getting better when it comes to the turnovers, but the numbers, when you look at them in total throughout his career, I mean, it's ugly. I mean, there's no way around it. And then also you look at his numbers in the 4th quarter, I mean, it's ugly too. I mean, his numbers in the clutch are just abysmal, which is one of the reasons why the Bears are moving on from him. So, Justin Fields is not the perfect quarterback by any stretch of the imagination. That's why he's the backup quarterback. And as a backup option, I'm having a hard time figuring out which guys are like 5 names that are bona fide better backup options than Justin Fields. So for a 1-year rental, for pretty much paying him no money, no fifth-year option to be a plan B at quarterback. Really athletic guy. Season wouldn't be over if he ended up having to come in. I like this move by the Pittsburgh Steelers, even despite the fumbles and the interceptions. $10 super chat here from Matt. A $10, first-time super chat. Let's give him some Ric Flair drip. Woo! Yeah, Jack's getting in on the fun here. Says he's trying to. We will get Tyler Boyd. I hope so, man. I like Tyler Boyd. I like his skill set. People say he's too slow or whatever, but at the end of the day, man, if you're paying the dude $3 to $5 million and you still have Van Jefferson as your fourth receiver option, Tyler Boyd comes in, plays the slot for you. He's going to be an excellent run blocker. Allen Robinson was a great run blocker for the Steelers last year, but he wasn't a good receiver. So if you get Tyler Boyd, at least you're going to get the run blocking element of that back. Plus, I do think he's a better player and a better route runner. He can still separate in man coverage. He's a crafty route runner, even though he doesn't have the long speed. So he's not going to be a downfield threat for Russell Wilson, but I know George Pickens is going to be. Van Jefferson, when he's on the field, is going to be. Calvin Austin III, when he's on the field, is going to be. And then whoever they draft in the draft likely will be as well. So, if Tyler Boyd is the one guy in the wide receiver room that isn't a deep threat, okay, I'm cool with that. Tyler Boyd's going to have his role. I'm not worried about that. So, yes, go get Tyler Boyd and go get him for a steal, Mr. Omar Khan. Then we got Mouse Tanker, $10 super chat here. Says, as a Bears fan, y'all are going to have a lot of fun watching JF1. He's a class act of a leader and person too. You got a great player and QB for a steal. Yes, we did, Mouse Tanker. And I am assuming he's one of the people that wanted to keep Justin Fields as the starting quarterback there in Chicago, because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of Chicago Bears fans that love Justin Fields and wanted them to give him another year. I understand what Chicago's doing by letting him go, and definitely with the market that they ended up getting for him. The NFL does not look at Justin Fields as somebody that they believe in as a future star quarterback anymore. That's just the reality of it. But he's a hard worker. He's a great kid. Mike Tomlin loves his skill set, and I love his skill set too. But, there's still a lot of question marks with Justin Fields, especially as a drop-back passer, which is why he is the backup to Russell Wilson. And honestly, guys, it's not even close. All right, no QB competition. He's QB2, but it's a nice plan B. Then we got a $5 super chat here from Jonathan Holland. It says, if we can get the line we need and everyone stays healthy, we are going all the way, baby. Hell yeah, let's go Steelers. Got to believe, man. You got to freaking believe in you. Here's the thing, man. Even if the Steelers don't win the Super Bowl next year and the Chiefs win it or whatever, like everyone's expecting, I think at the very least, the Steelers are going to be competitive in the AFC this year, and they're going to have a fighting chance in the playoffs. Like last year when the Steelers made the playoffs, nobody gave them a shot, even in the first-round game, all right? The only people that were giving the Steelers a shot were Steelers fans themselves, right? Nobody honestly thought that Mason Rudolph, who started the season as a third-string backup, was going to go into Buffalo and lead this team to a victory in one game, let alone 3 or 4 to win a Super Bowl. But with Russell Wilson, one of the most clutch quarterbacks in NFL history, somebody that's already played in that big game in the Super Bowl twice, that moment's not going to be too big for him. I feel good. I feel good about where the Steelers are at with their defense and the weapons that they're going to have for Russ and Russ's ability to throw the deep ball, the run game that they're going to have. Still more work to do. You need a new center. You need a new offensive tackle. You still need another corner. You still have stuff you got to take care of if you're Omar Khan, but figuring out the quarterback position and the OC were priority number one this offseason, and I thought Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin knocked those two out of the park easily. $5 super chat here from my man, Jared Sanchez. What's up, man? Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Unbelievable, man. Says, now get some wide receiver and offensive line help. Completely agree with you there, Jared. Go get Tyler Boyd. Go get Trent Brown. And go get Connor Williams for me, Omar Khan. And by the way, while you're at it, go get Justin Simmons, too. Why the fuck not? $5 super chat from Damian Roy. What's up, Damian? Good to see your face here, buddy. Says, let's go effing Steelers. This year is going to be epic. I couldn't agree more, Damian. Can't wait to share next season with you guys, man. It's going to be one hell of a ride. $5 super chat from Jacob Wizerak, Gold Club member here. Says, in Omar, we trust. New era of Steelers football imminent. Goodbye to the old ways. And yeah, man, like the narrative even going into this offseason is that there's no way the Steelers are making these kinds of moves. There's no way the Steelers are going to make splashes in free agency. There's no way they're going to trade away Kenny Pickett or sign Russell Wilson or do anything. They're just going to be the same old Steelers. Have they not met Omar Khan, the same guy that poached Chase Claypool for a second-round pick that ended up giving the Steelers their new number one lockdown corner? I mean, the same guy that has been making all these great moves throughout his time as GM, and now he makes these moves, and people are like surprised that the Steelers are making moves now. He traded up in the draft last year for Broderick Jones. When was the last time the Steelers did that? For Devin Bush, an inside linebacker? I mean, come on now. Like, Kevin Colbert was the most milquetoast, bland GM in the history of the National Football League, and now we get the modernized front office here with Omar Khan coming from Howie Roseman's Eagles. And now, like, I would put Omar in the same category as Howie, as a team builder. I think that they're just as good. They draft just as well as the Eagles. They make incredible trades at incredible values, extremely smart with how they handle the cap. And this is a new era of Pittsburgh Steelers football, man. It's modern, it's new, it's fresh, and it's exciting. I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, last year with Matt Canada's bland offense and Kenny Pickett and all these different things, and we won 10 games with a great defense, things are changing in the Pittsburgh Steelers locker room and in their building and in their front office, and things couldn't be more exciting for the city of Pittsburgh. $2 super chat from Matt says, we will get Tyler Boyd. I believe you, man. I hope so. $2 super chat from David Smith. Says, do you think... What's that? Okay, $5 super chat. Did I say two? My fault. Says, do you think we could see a slash position for Fields? Reminds me of Cordell Stewart. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, like, I could see Fields having a package on, like, 3rd and 4th and shorts. Tush push, I think, is going to be a big part of the Steelers' offense on goal-to-go situations and, like, 4th and 1 situations. You got this big quarterback that's extremely strong, like, and he's not starting for you. So you don't, I mean, it's not like you don't care if he gets hurt, but it's not like Russell Wilson getting hurt, the number one quarterback. So having a quarterback like this as your backup is a big luxury. And I do think they're going to have some sort of package or, special position for him. And it's going to be a lot of fun to see. Here's a $6 super chat from Kurgan Cold. And I'm guessing there's going to be a 9 coming up here. Yep, there it is. Everyone spam nice in the chat for the 69 from Kurgan Cold, the king of the 69. You got to love it, man. $5 super chat here from B. Shep. Says Justin Fields is an elite NFL quarterback. I don't know about elite, my friend. I think that he has the skill set to be elite. I think that's a big distinction. So I have a feeling B. Shep here is probably going to be a team Fields kind of guy. I want Justin to start over Russell Wilson next year, but I'm not on that train. I think Justin's a good backup, good plan B in case something goes wrong, very wrong. But, I appreciate your $5 super chat there, B. Shep. Go Steelers. Then we got a $2 super chat from Anonymous. First time super chat. Let's give Anonymous some Ric Flair drip. Woo! Says, let's get number 7. They're making awesome moves. I mean, Russell Wilson said it best at his press conference the other day, man. There's 6 trophies over there. It's our job to go get number 7. And I love that mentality from your starting quarterback. He's going to be focused on that. He's going to be working his ass off every day to help the Steelers get that 7th Super Bowl championship and once again return the Steelers to number 1 in Super Bowl championships among NFL franchises, all right? And they'd have the same amount of Super Bowls as Tom Brady. So Tom Brady could no longer say he has more Super Bowl championships than every franchise in football. $20 super chat from Richard Foster, a first-time super chatter. What's up, Richard? Good to see ya. Here's a first-time super chatter, so let's give him some Ric Flair drip. Woo! Says, what wide receiver do we draft as wide receiver 2? Watch out for Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU in the first round because he's a big guy, super, super fast. And then also, he's not only fast, but he gets to his top speed very quickly. All right, his 10-yard split was second among wide receivers this year, only second to Xavier Worthy, and he's like 200 and almost 15 pounds. Okay, that's ridiculous. That's like 30 pounds heavier than Worthy. So, freak athlete, great deep threat, tracks the ball well deep, perfect skill set for Russell Wilson's like deep ball regimen, whatever you guys want to call it, his deep ball ability. And he's a big receiver, so he can block. So watch out for Brian Thomas Jr. Watch out for Adonai Mitchell out of Texas as well. And then maybe, here's a dark horse, Xavier Legette out of South Carolina. Perfect fit. Reminds me a lot of A.J. Brown when he was coming out of Ole Miss. We all know that Arthur Smith turned A.J. Brown into a superstar there in Tennessee. So I feel like Arthur Smith's going to look at Xavier Legette and say, hey, man, this guy's available. Let's go freaking get him. All right, so make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Whoo, man, we're getting close to 50,000 subscribers here on the biggest Steelers talk show on YouTube. It's been absolutely an unbelievable ride these past 2 years since I've been the host of Steelers Talk. You guys have made it fantastic. It's an honor to wake up every day and give you guys the best damn Steelers coverage out there anywhere on YouTube, social media, whatever. So I appreciate the hell out of you. Make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already and you want to join our family. Help us get to 50K subscribers today. All right, $2 super chat here from Frank Mars. Appreciate you, Frank. Did one right after another 2 here. Says, I say trade for Scary Terry. He's a perfect fit. Commanders aren't dealing Scary Terry. So, fortunately, that's not a possibility there, Frank. I love Scary Terry. Great route runner. Good run blocker, too, for his size as well. So, I wouldn't mind Scary Terry. I think that this team would like Scary Terry. And having Scary Terry in the black and gold, man. That dark visor, I could see that happening. That'd be cool. But unfortunately, man, I don't think it's a possibility. Appreciate the $2 super chat. Is that all the super chats we got here? That's where we're at? Okay. Tell you what, we're at about $900 in super chat revenue right now. I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes. 5 minutes and counting here. If we can get to $1,000 in super chats, we're like $105 away from 1,000. We can get to $1,000, Jack and I will stay live for another 15 minutes. All right? But if we don't get to 1,000 in these next 5, we're going to cut the we're going to say goodbye. Because I actually, Jack, you know what I'm going to be doing tonight? You know what my plan is tonight? I'm going to go see Dune 2 tonight for the second time in IMAX. Exactly. And for those of you that don't know, Jack Lauderay is a big movie fan. So that's one of the ways that we bond here at the office. We talk about movies. But we got a $10 super chat here getting us closer. By the way, if someone sends in a $100 super chat right now, we'll stay live for an additional 15 minutes. All right, we're less than $100 away. All right, so here's a $10 super chat from Glenn James. It says, if you had your choice, position in the draft has no play. What wide receiver would you select? Who do you think they will actually take in the first and second round? Keep up the great content. Still top 5. What does he mean by still top 5? I'm not sure what he means by still top 5. Maybe top 5 Steelers host. I don't know, man. So I'll answer your questions here. So wide receiver, if I could pick one receiver for the Steelers to take, I'd have them take Rome Odunze. Rome Odunze is unbelievable. He's a perfect fit, good run blocker, physical, great route runner, good, very good athlete. I won't put him in the elite category in athleticism, but very, very good athlete, big size, and he's got at least 2 or 3 games there at Washington, or 2 or 3 plays per game there at Washington, where they're like, what the hell throw, or catches is what I like to call them. Like he's making a crazy catch that's way behind him, or he's covered by a corner or 2 corners, and he still comes down with the catch. So he's unbelievable. That's the perfect fit for the Steelers, in my opinion, which is probably why they interviewed him at the Combine. And then who do you think they will actually take in the first and second round? I think Talisi Fuaga from Oregon State is certainly a possibility. I think Amarius Mims is probably going to go to the Bengals. So all these different things. I think that Amarius Mims 1. And then how about Xavier Legette, wide receiver out of South Carolina in round 2? I'd be very happy with those first 2 rounds. If you got Talisi Fuaga and then you've got Legette in round 2, and then go get Cedric Van Pran in round 3. That's the best. That's like a perfect first 3 rounds for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, we're getting closer. $25 away from 15 more minutes. Let's go. $69 super chat from Kurgan Cold. Let's go. Everybody spam nice in the chat for that $69 super chat. Let's go, man. Kurgan, you're a real one, my friend. Jack, you're not on this show every week, so you don't know this, but Kurgan not only had 1 Black Diamond performance, he had 2 in the final few weeks of the season. And then for the early part of the offseason, he didn't show up for our live shows. So I was a little bit worried, but now he's back with full force. There we go. All right, now we got another 10 getting in here from Schlegel Bagel. We're $15 away, so a $20 super chat away from adding on another 15 minutes to the stream. He goes, con artist, in your opinion, would center Cedric Van Pran be a stretch in round 2? Let's go Steelers. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a stretch. I think you'd rather have Zach Frazier in round 2, but if you're going into the draft and your 2 big needs are like you need a wide receiver and you need a center for the future, you need to get a center. All right, so if he's the best center on the board in round 2, might be a little bit of a reach, but I don't think it's a stretch in round 2. Oh, my. Unbelievable! This one's coming in from Pittsburgh fan bang! Oh my God! Producer Jack, can you believe it? A $100 super chat from Pittsburgh fan 412. Everybody spam 412 in the chat. Everybody spam 412. Pittsburgh fan 412 isn't done yet. He says it's a first-time super chatter. Immortalize me. So, Pittsburgh fan, you are officially part of Steelers Talk Gold Club. Congratulations. I'm sorry we don't have the stickers today because we tried to get live as soon as possible. They weren't into the software, so we decided to go live without the stickers. So, I apologize to all of our Black Diamonds and Gold Club members today, but Pittsburgh fan 412, you are part of Steelers Talk Gold Club, my friend. Thank you for that $100 super chat. And then we also got some more supers coming in. Derek Smith with a $20 super chat. Says, keep the party going. All right, setting the timer now. You know what? You guys bought yourself another 20 minutes here on Steelers Talk, all right? Let's ride. $20 super chat here from Anthony Fuller as well. We are not worthy. We are not worthy. Mr. King Yinzer says, went to eat dinner, came back, and Sperry still live. Hashtag the GOAT. Nah, Anthony, you're the GOAT, baby. You are our first $100 super chatter on the channel. Forever immortalized as King Yinzer. All right, so I appreciate the hell out of you, man. Thank you so much for all of your support throughout these years. It's been, not that long of a ride, but, it feels like I've known you for a while there, Anthony. I appreciate you. First-time super chatter, Dennis McCready. Let's give him some Ric Flair drip. Woo! Says, the good you bringing information quickly, the bad you're annoying. Good trade, treated Kenny terribly. What good cornerback in free agency that we could still sign? Dennis, we could get Stephon Gilmore. He's still available. He's older, but he'd probably come relatively cheap at this point in the process, and he really thrived in a press man system these past couple of seasons in Dallas. So I like the fit with Stephon Gilmore, plus he's an older veteran that can help mentor Corey Trice Jr. and Joey Porter Jr. and Darius Rush and all the guys in here. So, I believe that Stephon Gilmore is somebody that could be in play. Xavier Howard, is somebody that I probably wouldn't love because he kind of lost his legs last year, and it's like, are we going to do the Patrick Peterson thing all over again? I'd rather not do that. So I'd like to see Stephon Gilmore for sure. No question about that. And I appreciate your $5 super chat there, Dennis. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. $2 super chat here from Anonymous. A shout out to the 69 guy. Nice. Yes, very nice. Kurgan Cold is he likes his 69s, man. What can I say? Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. We called the Russell Wilson signing a month before it happened. We called the Kenny Pickett trade destination 3 weeks before he was traded. We also, earlier today, I said trade compensation for Justin Fields would likely be a 5th-round pick. And, what's the average of 6 and 4? It's 5, all right? And that's what the conditions are for that trade. So, we know that Steelers media at Jerry Dulac, not very accurate all the time, man. But if you want to come here, you want to come out here and you want to, you want some accurate Steelers coverage here, make sure you guys click that subscribe button. There's a reason why we're approaching 50,000 subscribers. We've added about 20,000 subscribers in the last year or so. The fastest growing Steelers channel on YouTube, and then also we're the largest Steelers talk channel here on YouTube. So we try to get the video out to you guys every day. Sometimes we have 2 videos, breaking news every time a big move happens. So we appreciate the support. If you haven't clicked that subscribe button already, I promise you, the only thing that you're going to regret is that you didn't join sooner. So trade details here, in case you missed it. 6th-round pick, conditional 6th-round pick in exchange for Justin Fields. I mean, unbelievable. I mean, you could have had Ryan Tannehill for no trade capital in exchange. But, no trade capital this season. And whatever happens, it's a deal for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is why I love Omar Khan as a GM and as a team builder. And I don't think anybody in the league trades better than Omar Khan because he sets things up in a way that really makes it beneficial for the team. Either way it shakes out. What I mean by that is that if Justin Fields, say, sits the bench and holds a clipboard for all the games this season, all you're giving up is a 6th-round pick for somebody that's a really good backup quarterback, really athletic, very dynamic talent, good backup plan at the quarterback position. And then, if he does play and he is a major contributor for this team this year, all you're giving up is a 4th-round pick. And the 4th-round pick isn't nothing, but, for somebody that's going to be contributing to your team for a certain amount of snaps this year, I like that. I like that quite a bit for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not going to lie, man. So I feel like this is the second time in Omar Khan's career that he has fleeced the Chicago Bears. Of course, he fleeced them into trading for Chase Claypool. I mean, what a terrible trade that was. Steelers got Joey Porter Jr. out of that deal. And now they're fleecing the Bears out of Justin Fields, who now becomes one of, if not the best option as a backup quarterback in the National Football League. That's just unbelievable, man. That's just unbelievable what he's been able to do in these 2 seasons as head coach of this football team. And I love that he is my GM. $5 super chat here from King Yinzer himself. Anthony Fuller says, Sperry, we still got all 3 of our first day 2 picks with all of these moves. That's crazy. Yeah, the Steelers still have 4 picks in the top 100 now. And that is significant because you're making all these moves. You're bringing in a quarterback at $1.2 million. You're bringing in his backup via a trade for a 6th-round pick, and you're paying him nothing as well. You're bringing in Patrick Queen, an all-pro linebacker, on a discount, essentially. He was expected to get $18 million per year. We got him for less than 14. I'm loving all the moves that they're making. I think Van Jefferson is a good 4th receiver option. I think that's a good fit. But, Omar still has moves to make. We still need a center. We still need an offensive tackle. Still need another receiver. Still need another corner. So there's still moves to make. If you are Omar Khan, this is not the end of our breaking news coverage here on Steelers Talk. So, again, make sure you click that subscribe button because if something happens, man, we're going to be right back here live for you guys, breaking it all down, telling you guys what's what, telling you guys what you guys need to know about the Pittsburgh Steelers and the future of this team as we approach 2024. First-time Super Chatter here in Mike Hardy. What's up, Mike? Good to see you, my friend. Let's give him some Ric Flair drip here, folks. Woo! All right, so now grade the trade for me down there in the comment section, if you will. And actually, it is the live poll in the chat room right now. So 80% give it an A, 14% give it a B. 3%, only 3% give it a D or an F, and then another 3% give it a C. Honestly, man, I don't know what's not to like about this trade. It's like it's like you're taking swings at the position here, man. You're throwing darts at the board with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. And listen, man, if neither of them stick, then that's the case. But at least you're trying. At least you're trying. So unless you're like just a huge, unless you're like super butthurt about Kenny Pickett getting replaced, I don't know how you can't give this an A or a B personally. I really do think that this is a great trade for Justin Fields as well. Great compensation. And like I said, no matter how it breaks this season, whether Justin plays for us or not this year, I think it's worth the compensation that they're giving up. And I think it's a good value for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we got 12 minutes left in the show here before the movie starts at like 10 o'clock tonight. So I was actually going to take a nap. I was just about to lay down and take a nap before the news broke, because I'm going to be up for a long time tonight. It's like a 3-hour movie that I'm about to go see, and it's going to be like 10 o'clock by the time that it starts. So that's crazy, man. No, yeah, Pittsburgh fan says no nap for you. No way, man. Got to go live. Got to talk about some Justin Fields. $20 super chat here from Marilyn Krieger. Black Diamond here. One of the real ones. Always here during the live shows every single week. Marilyn, we made it. We've been talking about the quarterback position for weeks, and man, now we're here. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. He says, let's go Steelers. And you are the most non-annoying host on YouTube. You know what? To be fair, Marilyn, I can be kind of annoying sometimes, all right? I can be kind of annoying sometimes, and I admit it, all right? And you know where it comes from, man? It comes from my excitement, and it comes from my passion, not only for this football team, but for the community of the channel, all right? And when people send in $100 super chats, if people are going to spend their hard-earned money on this channel, I'm going to make it worth their while. I'm going to celebrate them. I'm going to get excited about their super chats coming in. And, if people want to say that passion and that dedication and all that stuff is annoying, that's fine. All right, but I'm always going to show support to the people that support this channel. I'm always going to celebrate the people that are with us here, celebrating this team and going on this journey together. All right, so, I appreciate everybody that's in the chat, even the people that think I'm annoying, because granted, I can be annoying at times. I'm be the first one to admit that, but I appreciate you, Marilyn Krieger, and I appreciate your $20 super chat. So let's talk about this for a little bit here, because not everybody has seen it, but we got 10 more minutes, or you guys have about 10 more minutes. Did you guys like Dune 2? Because I've already seen it once. Producer Jack Lauderay has already seen it once, and we loved it. And I highly recommend it to anybody out there. Make sure you watch the first one, though, because the first one is also very, very good.
It's literally half of a book.
It's literally
so
yeah.
Dune Part 1 is the first half of the book. Dune Part 2 is the second half of the book. So you have to watch the first one.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so you have to watch both, in my opinion. I think, Jack, in my opinion, Star Wars has fallen off a cliff. Even The Mandalorians last season, I wasn't a big fan of, and I'm a big Star Wars guy. I love the original trilogy, and I actually like the prequels more than most. But the new stuff that they have come out with since Disney took over, it's just not been great, most of it. And I'm grateful for Denny however you say his last name. Villeneuve, whatever, because he has brought in a new like sci-fi franchise that I'm excited for the future of. And Dune Part 2 is the new Star Wars, and it might be the Star Wars of our generation. It's that good.
Well, of our generation, of course.
Yeah. It's never going to be as big as what Star Wars is now, but like, in terms of like starting a brand new, and obviously like the books were still there and all that, and it was popular before they made the movies, but like a lot of people were not familiar with this story, and I think it's extremely, the world building is phenomenal. It really is genius work, and then when you put it together with the filmmaking of Villeneuve here, it really is a sight to see.
Well, yeah, the book is regarded as one of the greatest sci-fi books of all time.
Absolutely. Anthony Fuller says he's only watching it if Coop is in it.
I'm just gonna.
And by the way, put F Coop in the chat for not being here today.
We
put F Coop in the chat, man.
No. We don't need to F Coop.
We need the F Coop.
No, we don't, because
yes, we do.
It's everyone's off day. It was a long week.
It was, granted.
We don't need to do that.
Today is the day where everyone's celebrating St. Patrick's Day.
Everyone's celebrating St. Patrick's Day.
And,
I was not personally, as the good Irish boy that I am. I actually was not.
We are the two people that don't drink in the office. So it actually makes all the sense in the world that we are the two people in the office today.
And the block party was literally right down the street from where I live. So fantastic. I could not get to where I was going this morning. I had to go all the way around.
Yeah. $2 super chat here from Anthony Fuller says, you're only annoying to Browns fans. And, we actually had a Browns fan super chat yesterday saying that I was the worst host at Chat Sports and, I'm so annoying and all these different things. And I'm like, mission accomplished. I want Browns fans to hate me. I love playing the villain to them. They suck. They are, for how much that team has lost over the last 50 years or so, whatever the case may be, since the Super Bowl era, how much that team has been an absolute joke. Their fan base loves to talk shit. And I love putting them in their place. That is my favorite activity. When I'm not working to get the best damn Steelers coverage out there to you guys every single day, I love it. I was going to say shit on Browns fans, but it's like they already do that to themselves. So, just adding to the pile at that point. Goodness gracious. I can't wait till the Browns are last place in the division again next year with Deshaun Watson, who is not a good NFL quarterback anymore, by the way. They got a good defense. They got some talent, some talented receivers as well. Nick Chubb will be back next year. Good O-line. None of that's going to matter because they're going to have the worst quarterback in the division. They stink. All right? And unless Deshaun Watson gets hurt again or gets suspended again and Jameis Winston saves the day, which I don't think is going to happen, I don't think the Browns are going to be very good, and I cannot wait to rub it in their face. So make sure you guys click the thumbs up icon if you haven't already. Down to the last 5 minutes and 30 seconds of today's stream. So if you have any other thoughts, you have any other questions, make sure you super chat to get on the show before we say goodbye today. How long have we been live, Producer Jack? Coming up on 2 hours. Goodness gracious, man. This might be, we've had some long streams this week. This one might be the longest stream that we've done. Kurgan Cold showing some love to producer Jack in the chat. Let's go, man. Let's go. Oh, we did 2.5 yesterday? Oh, the Thursday one? So Pittsburgh fan asks, is Julian Blackmon still available? He is. I think right now, if the Steelers add a safety, it's going to be Justin Simmons. Well, I'm not as bad as our former colleague Will Scott, who everybody was a Dolphin to him. But after the moves that Omar Khan has made to this point, nothing will surprise me when it comes to the con artist. And just imagine that 3-safety package with Minkah Fitzpatrick, Justin Simmons, and then you got Deshaun Elliott, the Joker, as like the Terrell Edmonds role. I mean, that's just unbelievable. So I would love that to happen, but I'm not going to say it's likely to happen. I think probably it's more likely that they get Isaiah Simmons or even bring back Terrell Edmonds at a low contract number. But signing Russell Wilson at the number that you did, Producer Jack, allows you to pick up some of these free agents and allows you to get some of these veterans to help you try and win a Super Bowl next year. I can't wait.
It's going to be great.
I feel like Tyler Boyd is going to be a Steeler. I have a weird feeling Connor Williams is going to be a Steeler. I could see Trent Brown becoming a Steeler, Stephon Gilmore becoming a Steeler. Now they're going to get not Tom Brady, but they're going to have to restructure some contracts to bring all of those guys here. But I could certainly see that happening, knowing the con artist and the way that he manipulates all these different things. $5 super chat here from Schlegel Bagel. Says, Khan is trying his hardest to ensure Tree can't make any more days of our Steelers videos. Who's Tree? To ensure Tree can't make any more days of our Steelers videos. Ha ha. Is there any substance? Oh, Tree. Is there any substance to Le'Veon Bell returning? I'll answer that question. Probably not. Now, after this offseason, with the moves that they've made, would it shock me if he came back? He's in great shape. I'll point that out. He's in great shape. Okay, so if he wanted to come back, maybe they bring him in as a third running back option. Now, is Le'Veon Bell willing to come in and be a number 3 running back? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. And would they rather get somebody way younger? Probably. At least I would. But, crazier things have happened. We'd love to have Le'Veon on the show. Le'Veon, if you're for some reason watching this stream, we'd love to have you on the show, talk about it, but talk about the Killer Bee era. But, yeah, I don't think Le'Veon Bell is going to be returning. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button. We got a minute 30 left before the timer goes off. So last call here for Super Chats. We'll answer we'll react and answer questions as long as the Super Chats keep flowing. But once the Super Chats start going down, I'm gonna have to go because I got a movie to catch in an hour. All right, so we got a $5 Super Chat here from my man Dennis. Says it's a McGeary. Oh, it's McGeary. How was I saying it? I was probably saying it wrong. I apologize, Dennis. So McGeary, Dennis McGeary. Appreciate you, my friend. Says, and let's be clear, it was supposed to be a little annoying. Too loud for my tease. Why not just draft a young quarterback early second round? So early second round. You don't have an early second round pick, so you'd have to trade up. And listen, man, if Michael Penix Jr. is available early second, I'd think about trading up for him. I think that he's a good fit in the system. I think that, he's had some knee issues, but apparently the medicals checked out for him at the combine. So I think Michael Penix Jr. would be a good option. I think J.J. McCarthy and Bo Nix probably aren't the best fits for this offense moving forward. I think they'd be fine, but are they worth trading up for? I don't know. Michael Penix Jr. has a great deep ball, so I think that he'd fit well with Pickens in the future. But I think right now, Dennis, I think that Russell Wilson is their long-term plan at quarterback. And I know some people probably don't like that because they say he's too old or he's washed or whatever, but he actually had a really good season last year, a borderline top 10 season, top 10 in passer rating, top 10 in touchdown percentage, top 5 in adjusted completion percentage, so he's super accurate, top 5 in on-target percentage. He's an accurate quarterback that throws a great deep ball, doesn't throw interceptions, only 8 interceptions last year, really good number there. So, and that was in a system in Sean Payton's offense that was not a fit for his skill set, all right? Like, Sean Payton, he's like Russell Wilson is the antithesis of a Sean Payton quarterback, and he still played pretty darn good football last year. Even beat Mahomes, even beat Josh Allen, beat Green Bay, beat Cleveland, beat all these playoff teams last year. And now he's going into a situation where he's going to have Mike Tomlin as his head coach. He's going to have a good run game. He's going to have good weapons around him, and he's going to have arguably the best defense in football, in my opinion. So I think Russell Wilson is going to play really, really well. And I don't think the Steelers really have any inkling to trade up or take a quarterback in the first 2 rounds. Because I feel like with all the needs that they have right now, right, they've got offensive line that they need to hit. Both 2 positions, tackle and center. They need to hit wide receiver. They need to hit corner. They need more defensive line depth. So with all the things that they still need to do to fill out this roster, I'm not sure with a team that has Russell Wilson as the QB1 and Justin Fields, another young quarterback with high upside, as the QB2, I'm not sure if drafting a quarterback is even on the table for the Steelers this year, especially in the first 2 rounds. Maybe they go out and get like a Jordan Travis or a Michael Pratt on day 3 at a value for them based on where they rank on their board. But for me personally, I do think that Michael Penix Jr. is probably not going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, at least where we sit right now, or any quarterback in that top 6 range. Then we got $2 super chat here from Mike G. Says, do you think we gonna Huntley? Go get Huntley as a third quarterback? I wouldn't mind it. Third quarterback, Huntley, played some games in this league. I mean, remember, this is like the Mason Rudolph role that we'd be bringing him in for. Probably get him at the vet minimum. I mean, I wouldn't mind Tyler Huntley. Has a little bit of inside information on that Ravens offense as well. That's always helpful. So wouldn't mind it at all. Third quarterback, very inconsequential. They're going to get somebody that's obviously not very good. Huntley did not play well, and he has not played well throughout his career. But, Huntley's an option there for QB3. $2 super chat here from Anthony Fuller. Says, wide receiver in the first round and center in the second. If that's going to be the case, Anthony, you got to fill up offensive tackle in free agency with either Trent Brown, David Bakhtiari, Mekhi Becton, somebody that's still available out there. So if that's the case, if they sign an offensive tackle, I'm down for that. But also you need a corner too. So it's like, where do we get the corner? So definitely interesting there, Anthony Fuller. It's going to be tough to know exactly what the Steelers do until they make the rest of the moves that they're going to make, right? So it's hard to really predict for sure. But if things work out in certain ways, I could certainly see that happening. One more super chat here from Fernando Martin, $5 super chat. So, Fernando, can you clarify this question for me in the chat? What do you think the next step is? Like in free agency or like for the team in general, like next season? So, so I think the next thing is either going to be, so he says team. Okay, so he says, what's the next step for the team? So I'll answer both here. For free agency, I would say Justin Simmons or Tyler Boyd. Or, maybe they get Trent Brown. Maybe they get Connor Williams. They could really do a bunch of different things. Maybe Stephon Gilmore. It's really hard to predict what's going to be coming next for the Steelers, if I'm being completely honest with you, Fernando. But then as a team, the next step in the process here is to win a playoff game and compete for a Super Bowl. All right, if they get like 12 wins this year, they win a playoff game, and they it's really close in their second playoff game, let's say. I feel like that's going to be a season where Steelers fans are going to be like, okay, we got something here. We got something cooking. All right, and I know there's going to be some fans that are going to be like, oh man, we just made it to the divisional round. Like, we want Super Bowls. And it's like, you know what, man? The most that you can ask for in any given year as a fan of an NFL franchise is to be in Super Bowl contention, because there's so many variables that can happen. Injuries, just pure dumb luck. Officials. We know how much officials and officiating can determine the outcomes of games, especially playoff games, which are do or die matchups. We know sometimes in the NFL the best team doesn't win. The team that deserves to win the game doesn't always win the game and doesn't move on to the next round. But that's part of the reason why we love the NFL, is because it's the live theater. It's the Game 7 atmosphere every single playoff game. And, the best that you can do and the most that you can expect out of a franchise is that you're in the mix for a championship as much as possible. So if the Steelers are in that mix, and that is the next step for the Steelers, in my opinion, I'd be happy with that. With Russell Wilson and this roster and all these different things, you were already at a point where you are a borderline playoff team with a great defense and a bad offense. Now you're hoping with the combination of Arthur Smith and Russell Wilson that you take the step from becoming a team with a bad offense and a good defense to a team with a good offense and good defense. Plus you have a great head coach, in my opinion, that has been to the promised land before. So I do think that next year, the Steelers are going to be right in the thick of it. They're going to be back in the playoffs. And then this time, they're actually going to have a chance to win the Super Bowl. Because you didn't have that chance with Mason Rudolph last year or Kenny Pickett, which is why neither of them are still with the Steelers. And in comes Russell Wilson. $5 super chat from Schlegel Bagel says, Steelers country, let's ride. I've actually been impressed with how Russ has been acting composed. Glad he's finally a Steeler. And yeah, man, like I think after he signed that he got the big extension from Denver, kind of got a little bit too big for his britches a little bit that first year. And now that he's coming here on a $1.2 million deal, he has been pretty darn composed. I mean, he hasn't said anything like too crazy cringy. He seems really focused and locked in. It seems like he has a chip on his shoulder, but he's still Russell Wilson, right? He's still the positive, always happy, always, let's ride kind of guy. And that's something that the Pittsburgh Steelers locker room has kind of been missing, in my opinion. And I think it's a really positive influence on the locker room moving forward. I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. All right, so that's going to be it for today's live stream, guys. Thank you so much for all of your support, for sticking it out with me and Mr. Producer, Jack Lotteray. Everybody spam Jack in the chat. Coop was unavailable, but Jack stepped up for us today. He was absolutely fantastic. Everybody spam Jack in the chat. Everybody say thank you to Jack. He was unbelievable today. Coming up with the graphics, getting into the office on his off day on a Saturday after a grueling week of free agency coverage. Really do appreciate that. Anthony Fuller says, Jack, you can't spam yourself. So I was actually putting it in there. So I guess, it's both our names are Jack. But big shout out to Jack Lotteray for stepping in today. Jack, it was a lot of fun, my friend. It's always nice to have you on the program.
Good time. Here we go, Steelers.
Let's ride, baby. Let's ride. Okay, that'll be it for us today, guys. Thank you so much for all of your support. I will see you guys later. We're going to have Steelers draft targets, first-round draft targets right away for you guys tomorrow. So make sure you stick around, click that subscribe button, and turn on your notifications because we're going to have that draft content for you tomorrow in the afternoon. I think around noon or 1 p.m. is when it'll come out. So I appreciate you guys. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'll see you next time. And until next time, here we go, Steelers.